Welcome back to another video, everyone. So in today's video, I'm going to be introducing a cattle dog by the name of Sterling to a couple of my own personal dogs off the leash. He's here for extreme leash reactivity, and for leash reactive dogs, I really like to always take some time to introduce them to dogs off the leash. It really gives us a better and clearer picture of who the dog really is and allows us to determine if the dog is truly aggressive or not, or if there's just an element of fear and where the flight and fight response is being tampered with. When a dog is tethered to the leash, that flight response is taken away from them, and a lot of times they'll get incredibly combative on the leash to keep what they're afraid away from them. So I always like, especially when they come in for boarding and training, I really like to do this a lot, where I'll take this leash reactive dog and I'll introduce them to my own dogs in a safe, controlled manner, and really kind of get a better idea of who that dog really is and get a better perspective on it as well. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I do a little bit of talking while I'm filming the dogs, so we'll spare you a little bit of lecture in this introduction, and we'll get right to the video. Let's do it. So we're ready to go introduce Sterling, the cattle dog, to Peanut and Oreo. There's Oreo. Hi. That's the old man. What's up, dude? They're gonna help me out with Sterling. Let's go get him. This is kind of the way we like to do it. Potty pen first type deal. Oh, what's going on with this gimbal? Yo! Well, I'm gonna have to deal with that. I'm having an issue with the gimbal. Whoa! What is going on? Man, that's not what I want to see. It's not going to make us a YouTube sensation at all. All right, so let's go ahead and let him out. Hey, buddy. There he is. Does a lot of whining. Like a lot. Hey, buddy. Right underneath me. Circling me a little bit. There we go, bud. There we go. Now he's here for some reactivity. You can see his little nub. He's actually a little excited, but he does have some leash reactivity that's pretty severe. We're working on it. Now we're gonna get jet noise. Good gracious. Oh my God. All right, this is coming off the gimbal. We're just gonna have to shoot it by hand. I'm trying to be fancy. This stuff is not working out. Okay, gimbal off. Man, this thing's wigging out. So we're just gonna shoot it by hand. All right, so there he is. Nice thing is I can pan underneath me a little bit more when I'm doing this by hand versus the gimbal. But I think it's important to kind of see how he feels about dogs off the leash. I did do a test run previously off camera because his reactivity is so intense that I was very worried about him biting dogs. Matter of fact, you can actually see that he's wearing an electric collar. There's the band right there. He's just kind of checking her out. He's interested in Oreo quite a bit. Not so much the old man right here. Yep. So it's not really looking to attack dogs. You know, I think there's an element of fear, and there's an element of probably some classical conditioning that has taken place. My neighbor's dog says hello, and I think that's what we're dealing with on the leash. Checking out Peanut. He's much more interested in them now. When I did this run off camera, and the reason why I did it off camera, first, I was definitely worried about the dog biting, and I need to be prepared to help these guys out if that actually happens. What's up, bud? So, you know, we're not gonna have coffee and a phone in our hand if we're really worried about that. So sometimes I'll do a test run first off camera because I don't really have a camera helper. But yeah, look at this. This is really good. This is really good, actually. The first couple times he was avoiding my dogs, and you know, like Mini Mac is not here because he's at the vet getting a dental cleaning. But you know, of course, he's a younger dog coming in with a lot more excited energy, and he wasn't too fond of that. But these guys, you know, they're older, they're not so nimble, so I think he just takes to them a little bit more because of how neutral they are. You see how neutral she is right there? Just letting him do what he wants to do, not getting too tense or anything like that. So that's really good for us. Pretty cool stuff. So yeah, this is going really well. He was actually here back in March for his reactivity. We sent him home, but the owners were having a little bit of a hard time with the ability to kind of correct him. He was good here, but when he got home, he was reactive again. Again, I think there's an element of classical conditioning there. But then it started to create a situation where he was kind of like nipping at the owners on the leash. So we asked if we could take him back and work on some different approaches with him. So, you know, so the owners don't get hurt. We don't want them getting nipped at. He's a cattle dog. I'm still a little bit conflicted here in terms of if the dog is redirecting and nipping out of frustration, or if this is a genetic issue, right, where, you know, his herding instincts and his desire to nip are kind of showing themselves under stress. See how he likes to jump at he's real nippy. You can hear his teeth clacking a little bit right there. So I think part of that is just the dog. But, see right there, I don't know if I caught that part. Let's see, he's looking. See that clacking right there? So I think part of this is genetic, and his desire to clack and herd and whatnot. But I'm still not 100% certain on that. And it's not like detrimental just in terms of like who he is, but it's showing itself mostly under these on-leash reactive situations. So anyways, this is Sterling. He's hanging out off the leash with Peanut and Oreo. The Mac boys are at the vet getting their teeth worked on and cleaned up and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, man, this is him. So, but I really like what I see off the leash with him, because that really tells us a lot. There's more to this than the fact that he's downright aggressive. But there's, there's probably an element of conditioning in terms of the reactivity on the leash. And so we're working hard trying to counter condition that stuff. He's doing really well, especially at distance. But when he, things get a little bit harder on him in closer quarters. So we all know there's spatial thresholds and whatnot when it comes to reactivity. And so he's at a point where he's okay if the dog is at a distance, like across the street. But a little bit harder if we're like trying to cross on the same side of the road. All right. So not too much going on here. You can see he's happy. He's a happy dude. So I don't think the fear is overwhelming him in his day-to-day living with I don't think his fear is consuming him from day to day, but there are places and circumstances that cause this fear to manifest and become aggressive, and mostly this is on the leash. And they also had a small issue with reactivity in the home as well to strangers. We worked on that. That part is okay, but we're still here trying to conquer this leash reactivity. So, see how he throws his head to the side? Like, he definitely likes to clack his teeth and use his mouth a lot. So, all right, you guys, that's all we got. We don't want to make this too long and start to bore you. We'll catch you in the next one. All right, you guys, so as you can see, Sterling isn't downright dog aggressive. He's actually a little curious about other dogs. If he's not sure about them, he will be avoidant. I have seen that with him with a couple of my other dogs. But I think what's really important to take away from this video today is the fact that he may be incredibly reactive on the leash, but he's not downright aggressive in the context of wanting to downright attack other dogs. That's not what we're dealing with here. It's not what I would define as true aggression. True aggression, in my opinion, is a dog that wants to, at the sight of another dog, downright kill him. So we're clearly not dealing with this here. I think there's an element of classical conditioning that has taken place on the leash because the dog is a little bit fearful. It's developed into some fear, aggression, and reactivity on the leash. He's 5.5 years old. He's had a lot of practice with this, especially with the owners on the other end of the leash. So he's making some pretty good headway while he's in for boarding and training, but he's not quite ready to go home yet. We're going to keep working with him until he is. And then hopefully the owner's in a better position to take the leash from there. That's all we got for you for today. We'll talk to you in the next one. Peace.